Rebel canners teaching all kinds of food preservation, especially the old ways. Welcome back, Rebel canners, and I'm here again coming from the camp kitchen, and I want to talk to you about beyond botulism. So we get so hung up that every foodborne illness in canning is botulism. I want to take a little bit of time to address the ones that are actually common and how you prevent those and take care of those. And so the more you know about canning and the possible problems, the more you're not afraid to can, because you know what you're up against and know that it's not this big scary thing like everybody's trying to tell you. So number one is mold. Molds produce mycotoxins. They can be killed between 140 degrees and 190 degrees. This same as yeast can be killed between 140 and 190. Those are number two. Yeast cause your product to ferment. I've got this wonderful ferment here. That's getting really nice and thick. And the neighbor's mowing the lawn right outside the back door. Let him go through for a minute. Sorry about that. And I love ferments, but keep them away from where you're doing your canning, so that any that can be coming out in the air when you open the lids are not getting into your, ooh, that smells good. Are not getting in, that's starting to work, are not getting into your canning and causing you to have problems. So ferments go way over there, canning is done way over there. Okay, keep them separate, away, clear off the counters, wipe everything down before you start canning. You know, just basics. Number three, things that cause you to have issues or worry about if your canning is spoiled or not is enzymes. All food has enzymes. It's present in everything. That's why you should blanch some foods before you start canning them. That's why they recommend, cooking things like potatoes before you start packing them in your jars. It affects your color, your flavor, and your texture. So follow the guidelines for blanching and cooking to destroy enzymes. And usually enzymes in food are destroyed by 140 degree temperatures. So you're good there. Bacteria are number 4 on my list down here. Common bacteria, Staph aureus, or Staphylococcus aureus, if you want the full scientific name, also killed at temperatures above 140. Boiling water bath. Salmonella, you need to get it above 140 to kill it. So another really important thing while we're talking about salmonella is to have separate cutting boards for your raw meats and your raw vegetables. Every kitchen should have a green cutting board and a red one, or the wooden one is for vegetables and the plastic one is for meats, because they're easier to clean, the plastic ones, even though I'm not a big fan of plastic. Separate cutting boards. Just good practice that we can follow from the commercial kitchens. And if you haven't seen my video on practices to follow from commercial kitchens in your home canning kitchen to make life easier, go check that video out. I'll try to put a link to it up here or down below in the description. Just follow the guidelines. Get a basic ball blue book and follow the guidelines. It's going to keep you safe. Even rebels, follow some of these rules and guidelines because they keep us safe. Number 5 is flat sour. They're heat-loving bacteria that cause your product to have flat sour. They don't form a gas, so the lids don't pop up, and basically all they do is make your food taste nasty. You're not going to know it until you open it up to use it and taste it. Things like, I gotta read this list off. Bacillus lactiformis, Bacillus stereothermophilus, Bacillus coagulans, Bacillus macerans, and Bacillus subtilis. So those are all the bacteria that cause flat sour. Flat sour is usually caused by I'm too tired, I'm just going to leave it in the canner and I'm not going to take it out till morning. And those bacteria just love that heat. And you then go take it out later, and sometimes they're right there in the hot summer heat when we're canning, because that's when we do our canning. And they just love the hot summer heat, and they're in there, and they just, they're not going to kill you. They're not going to necessarily make you, they make you sick, but not, you're not going to eat it. You're not going to eat enough to get sick because you can taste it. But they're not going to spoil your jars. They're not going to pop open. They're not going to break your seal. They're just going to make your life miserable when you open it up and realize all your food is not good. So, what can we do about these things and how can we recognize them? Number one rule about this is, when in doubt, throw it out. Easy. You know what? Just when in doubt, throw it out. If it's fuzzy, if it's growing fuzzy on top, that's mold. Throw it out, whether it's popped the lid yet or not. If it spurts liquid when opened, that's a sign that it's went bad. Damaged, rusty lids, wavy, dented, bad lids. You can tell. Damaged lids, throw it out. Bulging lids. If it was sealed and now the lid is bulging, throw it out. And odors. But I'm kind of cautious with this one because things like, if you've never canned chicken before, canned chicken when you first open a good can, nothing wrong with it, has a peculiar odor. A lot of people, I get this question, oh I canned chicken and I followed all the guidelines and it smells so bad. Canned chicken has a funny odor. Once you cook it, it starts smelling like cooked chicken and it's good. But you first open that jar sometimes. So I say odors, but with the qualification is you have to know, what your food is supposed to smell like when you open the jar. And if it doesn't smell like that, then it's bad. If you've got a jar of food that was bad, how do you clean it up? Is a very frequently asked question I have. And you want to clean it up with a 1/4 cup of bleach in 2 cups of water. Use that solution. I use that to wipe my countertops off and to clean my kitchen when I'm getting ready to can. And then if I have anything that I'm using old jars, I don't know where they came from, I bought them somewhere. That's the solution I'm going to use to wash them up before I use them again. Do not, this is very important in this list of do's and do nots with foodborne illnesses, do not taste your food until you've heated it up and cooked it thoroughly. Very important. We're going to get to that. Wash your hands. Shouldn't have to say this, but wash your hands before you start preparing your food. Wash your hands frequently while you're preparing the food to keep them clean. And if you touch anything, you touch your nose, you touch, you scratch your anywhere. Wash your hands again as you're preparing. I shouldn't have to tell you this, but I'm momming you. Again, we discussed this, but avoid the cross-contamination. Use separate cutting boards. Really good techniques there. All right, here we are one more time, very carefully and briefly, because the topic is beyond botulism. We are going to touch on the one everybody thinks that everything else is. This, I like to use the term foodborne illness for all these other ones because people are like, hey, you're going to get botulism and die. You're going to get botulism and die. So I hate that. I hate it. I don't even want to talk about it because it's so rare. But I'm going to touch on it briefly here because we're talking about foodborne illnesses, and it is a rare foodborne illness in canning. See my other video about it. But anyway, Clostridium botulinum. That is the organism. Low acid foods, pressure can, because we want to get them up above 240, which is higher than the point of boiling water. There. The toxins they produce are killed by boiling them after you open the jar, because they're produced in the jar. So canning doesn't kill them. Lower things. You have to then, if you do something by boiling water method, you have to cook that food to kill the toxins and destroy them, okay? That's why the CDC recommends cooking your low acid foods that you've canned. End of story. We're not going to go there anymore. Please don't leave any comments down below. I'll just delete them, okay? You want to read more on it? See the other video I did specific to botulism. Okay? So I hope this helps, but I really want to touch on all those other things that aren't botulism, that are foodborne illness. And they're easily taken care of in a boiling water bath or pressure canner. So get a ball book, follow the guidelines, use your good judgment, and I will see you on the next canning video. Thank you, Rebel Canners.
Like and follow and share. Turn your notifications on. See you back in another video. Bye, Rebel Canners.